Hey everybody, and on today's vlog, we're gonna play Honey Buzz by Elf Creek Games. Let's get buzzing!
Spring has sprung in the woods of Sweetwater Grove, but something is different this year. The bees have discovered economics. The queen has a plan to open a stand in the woodland market. If the bees sell their honey, maybe the bears and other woodland creatures will leave the hive alone, and the bees will find peace and prosperity at last. In Honey Buzz, you're one of Her Majesty's accountants, entrusted to efficiently manage your own portion of the hive and worker bees. By assigning your worker bees to expand the hive, you will create empty cells for storing different nectars. Eventually, those nectars will produce honey, which you can sell at the bear market or use to complete orders. Which one of you will become the chief architect of the Queen's new economy? Prove your value to Her Majesty by working wisely and strategically, and don't forget to compete in the Queen's contests. At the end of the game, whoever has made the most money wins and is appointed the head of the new economic empire.
Hey Sarah, how's it going?
I'm well.
So what are we playing today?
Today we're playing Honey Buzz by Elf Creek Games.
Ooh.
This is sort of a tile placement, worker placement, resource management style game. I absolutely love the artwork, and y'all, these are beeples.
Beeples, you say?
How cute is that?
It's totally cute.
I love it.
And they got some cute, cool components over here too.
Yeah. These are different types of honey.
Which is called nectar in the game.
Yeah, this is nectar, which I guess is in real life is like what honey comes from, is different kinds of nectar. So there are different kinds. Like this one right here is rosemary nectar, and this one is wildflower nectar and cherry blossom nectar, and so on and so forth. And these are actually like kind of squishy. They've got like a little bit of squish to them.
Little squish.
Yeah, so they're almost like
oddly satisfying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really neat. It's a neat finish to a component. So those are kind of cool. There's also the little beeples, which are adorable. This here is pollen. And then this is like the currency in the game. So there's like different denominations. There's acorns and leaves and footprints and that kind of thing. Paw prints, I suppose. So then we also have some things going on over here in like the board area. This area is the area where the workers can go. So you take your beeples and you place them on the different areas depending on which parts of the hive you would like to add to your own personal little hive, because each player has their own personal area of the hive that they are working on. So you place your beeples into this area to get new portions of the hive that you'll add to your section. Over here, there's an area, it's sort of like a meadow, where you can send your bee to go and collect different types of, what is that called?
Nectar.
No, it's
like a tile that produces nectar.
What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, so you send this bee over there and they go around and they collect either the pollen, or they collect these nectar tiles, which are placed into pre-prepared areas in your hive. And then when those are in your hive, they will produce the different kinds of nectar that we can use to sell or to fulfill orders or that kind of thing.
That's so cute. So cute artwork.
It's adorable. I absolutely love the artwork in this game. It's super, super, super cute, but still maintains its functionality and its clarity, which is always very important in games. So just the general presentation is really nice in this game. The components are really nice. The cardboard is nice and thick. There's no shortage of anything. They provided plenty of everything, or exactly the right amount of everything. There is tons of stuff in the box that we're not even playing with. Extra cards, stuff for additional players. Now, everything that we're referencing in this video today is specifically for a 2-player game. So there's a bit of variation on the setup and just a teeny tiny bit of variation on the gameplay when you're playing with more than 2 players. But what we're talking about today is just a 2-player game. Also, the rulebook is a linen finish rulebook.
Ooh.
It's so nice. I love
Satisfying.
that when they do that. Yeah, so the production quality is phenomenal. Plus, it just looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah.
Very nice.
Should we play?
Yes, let's get into it and start. So yeah, we can get into it and just enjoy this game. We've already played and we just loved it. And Sarah was a little hurt on our first game.
Yeah, so
But-
this one is very, very cute, but there's actually a bit going on in the game. And
There's a lot of moving parts.
yeah, and there were a few things that I just kind of struggled to remember or struggled to like sort of wrap my mind around how it worked. Or I would get it down and then later in the game I would try to do it again and I'd forgotten by then how it worked again. And I don't know if I was just tired or this one is particularly tricky for me to like wrap my head around. I'm hoping this will be our second game. We played through once before. I'm hoping that this time around I have a little bit easier time just playing the game just because last time I did get kind of frustrated with myself and with the game a couple of times because I couldn't figure something out or couldn't remember something. Even just the coloration of this one right here. So each of these, if you'll notice, like these here, they each have different colorations. And if you actually look out at the matching tiles over there, you can see around the edge of each tile, you can see those colors. Well, this one here in the last game, for whatever reason, I looked at this and I didn't see that it was yellow, 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 orange, orange. I thought it was yellow all the way around and that this orangish color here was supposed to be a shadow. That would have been like, some sort of graphic design choice that they had made to shadow this bottom part of the tile. So I was working on something in an attempt to acquire one of these here because you have to match these sides with your hive. And so I was working on one that was yellow like all the way around. And when I went to go get that one, I saw that it was actually marked differently on the tile than what I had perceived this to be. And therefore I couldn't actually put it into the place where I thought that I was going to be able to put it. Hi, baby. What are you doing?
Our cat's screaming at us.
What are you doing?
He wants attention. But we want to play Honey Buzz.
So anyway, there were a couple of things like that where they were just kind of a little bit frustrating to me. And some of that was just straight up on me, right? Like I completely misunderstood that when I saw something that wasn't there. So some of it was, I think, just kind of my issue, but I'm hoping that because I have seen how everything works in the game now, I've seen, what everything does and how everything works and stuff like that, I'm hoping that this time around I'm able to play a little bit better, I'm able to have a little bit more fun with it, and hopefully it won't be quite as frustrating as it was for me the first time. And I really do want to emphasize this was like completely a personal problem. It wasn't like there's something like wrong with the game or anything like that. Like it was just me for whatever reason. Maybe I was tired.
Everyone has one of those days where they're tired or there's just a game that first go around that you just don't understand.
Just didn't click with me.
Just didn't click, but this time I'm afraid that it is going to click and then I'm going to just get destroyed. And I had my one win. It was, good job, kid. Good job. Now I'm going to beat your face in.
I think honestly, if there's any fault of the game with the way that I approached it last time, it would just be that it's adorable, but it's actually pretty meaty. So I was approaching it as if it was going to be this light, airy, adorable little experience.
And this semi comes up.
And it was actually like, okay, you need to like be concentrating. You need to be like strategizing,
Don't get caught by the cuteness.
It does even say on there, it says it's 100% organic strategy, right? So like they're telling you, hey, this is a strategic
buckle
game.
Up. Pay attention here.
It looks super cute, but this is a strategic game. So anyway, I'm hoping that this time around, because I kind of have a little bit of foreknowledge of everything and how things work and what to expect and that kind of stuff, I'm hoping I do better this time. Yeah. So we shall see.
We shall see. All right. Well, let's get into it, and we'll get to you guys we'll get back to you guys when we get into like a midway through the game. All right. Toodles. Hello, Sarah. So how goes it?
So, even though I definitely feel like I know what I'm doing more this game than I did in our first game, I still feel like I'm not doing very well. Maybe, we'll see. We are more than halfway through. We were kind of just trucking along, and then we realized the game was almost over, and we hadn't recorded
We're having so much fun.
our midpoint yet. So, the game's almost over. I'd say we probably have like maybe a few turns left.
Yeah, because we had if 2 of these go out for
That is
the
one of the
2
ways that
orders
the
is
game
one of
can
the
end.
ways the game can end.
So, and Nick's just been trucking along, fulfilling all kinds of
Yeah.
orders. So, the game is almost over. Like I said, I feel like I'm not doing super well, but we'll see when all the points are added up. I think right now,
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
think we both have kind of a similar amount of money, but Nick has a lot more point cards than I do. And I don't think that I'm going to be able to... I don't think I'm going to win. And I
We'll
feel
see.
like I've got a better handle on it this time than I did previously.
I think you get too many babies going on over there.
Well, and see, that was a strategy that I was trying to work with, because when you start the game, you only get one beeple, just one, and these are your worker placement workers. So when you go to put workers out, you just have the one to start with. So I do this thing. I've done this thing this game and the last game we played, which are the only games we played, where I try to get a bunch of workers like as fast as possible, so that I have a bunch of workers. And I don't know. I just don't know that that's really a great strategy, because then Nick focuses more on getting like opportunistic things, nectar or...
I feel like I kind of try to set myself up. So then when like I close off something to get like a a circle like this one, you get all the abilities around that hexagon you just made. And so I try to do a lot of those. And also, there was a couple kind of goals to get. One that came through in the middle of our game, and 2 that come at the end of our game.
Well, and I think that's another thing that I'm probably not doing very efficiently, is so there are 3 sort of contests that the Queen has like offered, and for the players who compete in those contests, you could get a lot of points. And
Yeah, one of them was $20. So if I don't spend it, that's like 20
place
points.
for each one of them is $20, and there's one that you can do sort of during the game, and then there's 2 that you do at the end of the game. And so the $20 that you get from the 2 that you do at the end of the game, they just go straight into points. But the one that you do in the middle of the game, then you can turn around and use that money for money in the game. But one thing I want to talk about real quick is in a 2-player game, you only do first place. You don't do second. Yeah.
So that's very cutthroat.
So yeah, so in the 2-player games, it's basically whoever does it the first or whoever does it the most is the only player who gets those points or that money. So I feel like, and I don't pay a ton of attention to those things, right? Like the orders, to me, this is an order that I've completed. So one of the things that you can do with your nectar that you accumulate is you can sell it by fulfilling one of these orders. So if I sell 2 of these brown nectars, then I get 7 points, right? Mm-hmm. But at the start of the game, these, all of the nectars are up here pretty high. And if I sell the nectar, I can get a lot more money for it than if I fulfill an order. But the thing is, the additional points that you can gain by working on these contests here make it so that these are really probably a better way to go than just selling the individual nectar. Because even though you get more money for that, like over the course of the game, and money is points, it seems like you end up with more points if you take the lesser points here, but then end up getting supplemented with points from these kind of things here. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to win. And I still feel like I don't have a super good handle on the strategy of the game. The mechanics and everything, yeah, we've got that down, no problem. You place your beeples, you do the action of the place where you've placed your worker. If you complete things in your hive, then you get to take additional actions or do extra
Additional
things.
abilities.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So like mechanically, we've got it down. It's actually pretty simple mechanically, but I think strategically, I am far from really having a good grip on the game. So we'll have to play again, which is fine.
Again.
And when we do have a good grip on the game and we want to freshen it up or change it up, we also have the Honey Pot expansion.
Another vlog in the future? Oh,
Yeah.
my.
And I did peek into this, and there are some adorable little components
It's a
in here,
straight up adorable game.
including a honey pot.
Honeypot. Ooh.
Yeah. So this game is really, really adorable. Quite a challenge for me strategically, though. So still something to figure out there.
100% organic strategy right there. All right, well, we're going to get back into it, and we will come back to see who is the winner and loser of Honey Buzz by Elf Creek Games. So far, we're enjoying it. I really enjoy this one, not just because I'm winning, but for other reasons.
It's really adorable. The art on the cards is like, and the board is just, I just love the anthropomorphic animals, and I love like the general sort of serenity of the location, this forest location where we are, and like this sort of bustling economy that's been established by the bees. I just think the whole thing is just a really adorable little world that they've created here for this game, and it just feels picturesque, and it feels very inviting and very soothing, and I love the way it looks, and I love the aesthetics of it. It's
Pretty
great.
freaking cute.
Yeah, it's adorable.
All right, well, we'll get back into it, and we'll get to you guys in a little bit. All right, toodles. Hello, Sarah.
Hi there.
So how'd it go? How'd it go for the ending of the scoring and all that good stuff?
So Nick had over 100 points,
Okay.
and I did not. And that's where we're gonna leave it.
Alrighty then. So, what did you think about Honey Buzz from Elf Creek Games?
Well, I think it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm so in love with the way that it looks, the aesthetic, the art, just overall, the production of this game is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And so very much something that I am attracted to, right? Like there's gorgeous artwork out there that I'm like, yeah, it's gorgeous, but it's not something that I really care for. This one is gorgeous, and I really, really like it. So I think it looks amazing. It feels great. I am not good at it right now. I think that it's going to take me some time to kind of figure out some better strategies. And I have faced some frustration both times we've played because I can't seem to get to a place where sort of like the strategies that I'm using pay off. So I think that's user error, right? I don't think that's necessarily the game's fault that I'm not good, right? But it has been a bit of a point of frustration for me. I think that it's something for me to work on, right? Like in future games, I can try other strategies and you know, and it's good that it's not just like, oh, well, I found the winning strategy and that's what I'm going to use all the time.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit frustrating for me to just absolutely, utterly fail at finding any kind of strategic forward momentum in this game. But you've done very well the last two games that we've played. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
I enjoy it. The complexity and the chaining you can do within this game is very satisfying. I feel like we said before, it's a little misleading because it's all so cute and so cuddly, but then all of a sudden you're like, put your thinking cap on because you're really gonna need to think for this one. Yeah. And I think it's good at 2 players, but when it gets to more than that, it could be very competitive for space and also for, just trying to get what you need.
Racing to the order, the Queen's contest orders and stuff like that. Yeah, I could definitely see that, especially because while there is a little bit of variation on the setup for 2 players, it's not a ton. So there is more available when there are more players. But not like
Not
just,
much.
it's never going to be like, there's just like a plethora of resources available
Yeah.
and things like that.
And there's multiple ways to win because in a 2-player game, yeah, it's pretty wide open. But then once you start adding people, you're going to start seeing that everything gets all tight and there are going to be things coming out of stock or you can't get all the honey that you need in time to get what you want to fulfill orders. So you might just need to go ahead
Or
and
maybe
try to
someone
sell.
else will fulfill an order that you've been working on before you can.
Yeah.
That kind
So
of
there's a lot going into adding more players outside of a 2-player game.
And the game is not loose as a 2-player game at all, but I
Yeah.
do think if you added more players, it would tighten up quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
I think just as like a maybe to help other players, first-time players, sort of avoid my frustrations, I would say that a piece of advice that I would give to new players would be not to ignore or avoid going after these orders. When the game starts, especially for a 2-player game, when the game starts, these all start up here. And so these things are worth quite a bit of money if you can collect a lot of them and then turn around and sell a lot of them. For example, if I sold 3 pieces of this this particular type of nectar, I would get $21, which at the end of the game is 21 points. So it's very tempting, or it has been for me in the last couple of games, it's been very tempting to really go after a lot of these, ignore the orders that they could be used to fulfill, and instead just sell them off individually. However, in doing that, you neglect not only the lesser amount of points you would get by completing the order, but any kind of chance that you have at competing in the Queen's contests that have to do with like the completion of the most orders and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there are many
Additionally-
other contests that we haven't even
Yeah.
got into yet.
Additionally, even if you're not playing with a contest that references this, every time you complete an order, you get a bonus action as well. Whereas when you just sell the nectar, you don't. So I think while
And that's helped me out. And
lot.
even sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, and I get to do that too.
Yeah, so I think while this right here is really enticing to me because you get a lot more money, this right here should not be overlooked. So if I had one piece of advice for new players or people who are, don't have a lot of experience with the game, I would say don't neglect the orders for what seems to be a higher paying off area of the game because it doesn't seem to be working out that way in reality. That's my own personal experience with the only we've played 2 games so far, so maybe it's just a random thing that's happened, but I don't think so.
I don't think so, because I think you have to pay attention to a lot of things during this game to get things chaining and combos and all that good stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely one that's a keeper.
Yeah, it's gonna stay in our collection for sure. Maybe not as like a lifetime thing, but it's definitely not one that's going to be leaving the collection anytime soon. I want to play this, even though I'm a little frustrated with myself and with the experience right now. I do want to play this a lot more, and I think that I will. Once I sort of break past that wall, that mental wall in my own mind about the strategies here, I think that once I can get past that, it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be an ever-changing game because there's so much that so many different things you can pursue. And there's a lot of content that that can cycle through the game, right? Like the Queen's contest, you only ever play with 3 of them, but there's a lot more in the box, right? So that you'll see a turnover of that kind of stuff. Plus, we've got the expansion and all that. So I think that there's a lot
And
of
even future
replayability
content
here.
that could come out with this game.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a lot of replayability here, and I think once I can kind of get out of my own way and figure out some better strategies for at least maybe not even winning, but at least doing better in the game, I think that I can really start to see myself enjoying this one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that was our vlog on Honey Buzz by Elf Creek Games. We hope you all have enjoyed it. And I think it was just a recent Kickstarter, so...
Yes, I don't remember all of the details exactly, but they wrapped up the Kickstarter earlier this year, I think. And
Or I think it's just starting to come out maybe later this year. But
so the Kickstarter backers should all have their rewards, and this is at retail now. So yeah.
Coming to retail.
No, I believe it's already at retail now.
Okay, all right.
I think.
But yeah, if you guys ever want to get your hands on it, by all means, check your friendly local game stores, all that good stuff. It's definitely one that I would recommend. I don't know about Sarah, but...
Yeah, I would say, like I said, I have some personal frustrations with it, but I think those are because of me, right?
Yeah.
I think the production here is phenomenal. I think the value, what you get for what you pay is really, really good. This is the standard version. They had a deluxeified version as well that I believe was only available through their Kickstarter, I think, or through
we'll see about that.
markets. But I don't know what they would have deluxeified, because in my opinion everything here is of excellent quality.
Unless we figure out that some of our...
Maybe the first player marker would have been like an actual little wooden honey dipper or something like that. But to be honest with you, I don't really know what else could have been upgraded further. The cards are good quality. The cardboard is all thick. There's plenty of everything. So even if you really like the game and you're bummed that you didn't get the deluxeified version, I wouldn't be too concerned about it, because everything here is really nice.
Pretty nice.
Really, really nice. And the beeples are that's so adorable. A beeple.
Yes.
It's clever and cute.
Little cute beeples. All right. Well, until next time, toodles.